Yes, sir. First and foremost, Giannis has already proven he's the best player. When talking about the best player, let's try to have a more educated, not so narrow-minded conversation.
Ooh.
So many people are saying Jason Tatum's better than Kevin Durant. As much as I love Jason Tatum, and as much as I push back on Kevin Durant, it's a 3-game sample size here that was not going to let me say that Jason Tatum is yet better than Kevin Durant. So when talking about Giannis, I'm assessing about a 1-year, 2-year sample size plus right here and now.
Okay.
I'm assessing then and I'm assessing now. What did Giannis do for us then? Well, then, last year, Finals MVP. Okay, I don't care about Finals MVP because, you know, Finals MVP can be jaded. I just said that. He had 50 points in an elimination game eliminating the Suns in the NBA Finals. He had 40 points in an elimination game eliminating the Nets in the semis. So what Giannis has shown us is then he is a dude. But what is he showing us right now? What Giannis is showing us right now, averaging 28 points, 15 boards, and 7 assists, is a stat line we've never before seen in the postseason.
Okay.
What Giannis is showing us right now is even without his Robin, who some people perceive Chris Middleton to be Batman, even without his Robin, he is still a beast. He is still going to easily and at least apparently handedly move the Bucks through the first round without Chris Middleton. What Giannis is showing us is amongst a list of best players, he is the greatest of them all. Let's look at the full screen. I got Giannis, I got Embiid, I got Curry, I got Jokic, I got KD, and I got LeBron up there. Those are the players I think would be in conversation for best players right now. Well, what are they doing in the postseason individually, and what are they doing collectively? On the far right, you'll see collectively what Giannis is doing. He leads his series 3-1. And then in the next 3 columns, you'll see what is he doing individually. So collectively, Giannis's team is playing as good as any other player that's in the conversation for best player in the NBA because he leads the series 3-1. Individually, Giannis is also playing as good, if not better, than any other player in the conversation for best player in the world. You see Jokic at least as competitive, 31 points per game, 11 boards, 5 assists. So Giannis individually is better than the best. And Giannis collectively is as good as, if not better, than the best. This is no longer a conversation whether Giannis is or not the best player. A year ago, I would entertain the conversation with you, Marcellus.
About a year
I would
ago?
go back and forth and I would engage in this debate.
You're not gonna do it now?
For more reasons than just financially. Now, if I am engaging in this debate, it is quite literally only so Fox will cash and cut my check.
You better cash it. That's probably why you paying so much for them damn blinds. Let me stop. I don't believe my lying eyes. And I look at Giannis, and 2 things pop out. One, he's only out-energizing, only out-athleting everyone else. Now, that comes at a cost, because one day you're going to lose that athleticism, and then we're going to see what type of player you are. But, hey, we're not there right now. His energy and his athleticism is making me think he's the best player in the NBA. But then I have to push back on my own lying eyes of like, but the skill level is not as high as desired. Remember when Stacks was here? Steven Jackson broke it down. He said, what can Giannis do? Just go downhill. That's his skill, go downhill. And because he doesn't meet that minimum threshold of all-around game, kind of young LeBron at beginning, I'm like, I don't believe my lying eyes. But everything else, as you just gave us, supports that he is the best player right now. But then I have to take it back home. I go back to football and I realize, oh, you know what this is. If someone walks up to you right now and says, who's the best receiver in football? Are you going to say Cooper Kupp? Numbers suggested. In the immediate right now in this moment, oh, yeah. But then you're going to say, I don't know if he possesses everything necessary for me to say he's the best receiver. You'll start saying Devontae Adams. You'll start saying DeAndre Hopkins when healthy. You'll start saying Stephon Diggs. You'll go places because you're like, there's this minimum threshold of skill level on top of that athleticism and energy you're playing with. I swear to God, Giannis ain't nothing but Cooper Kupp to me right now in this year. Where I can, Giannis had a slow, oh, really? You don't believe in Giannis' slow development? Let's talk about this, because you want to use this playoff series right now to say, okay, last year he won a championship and this year. You know what his career playoff record is? 7-5 in career series, 39-29 overall record, barely above 500. But now, all of a sudden in this moment, because everything seems to have materialized, that you say he's the best. But I swear, dog, I will push back. There's some other names out there when they play with that same level of urgency, that same level of energy. I thought you didn't want to go back and forth. I don't have to lie to myself about them. They actually are better than Giannis. Let's go. And say his name right first.
So that's the most ignorant thing you've said on this show in this 19 months I've been here, that Giannis is no different than a Cooper Cup. If there is an indictment on Cooper Cup, the indictment is that Cooper Cup is a beneficiary of scheme and team. Giannis is a beneficiary of neither. Chris Middleton is not on the floor right now.
You sure?
I am 1,000% positive.
You sure?
If you are going to say that Giannis is a Cooper Cup, he is not, because Cooper Cup, if we are going to indict his ability, it's because Cooper Cup benefits from team around him. You got several receivers out there. You got a phenomenal scheme. Cooper
Robert
Cup benefits
Woods?
from scheme, and he benefits from team.
Hurt Odell?
Giannis don't benefit from either.
Come on now.
Come on now. If your best receiver, your greatest receiver of all time is who?
Greatest? It's T.O.
T.O., some might argue Randy Moss, some might argue Calvin Johnson. All of those receivers are not the most savvy with route running ability. You know that to be certain.
I mean, I don't know what savvy means.
Do not at all have the greatest
routes.
hands, but they were what? The most freak athletes.
Skilled.
T.O. was one of the most freakazoid human beings athletically the world has ever seen. Randy Moss, freakazoid human beings athletically the world has ever seen. Calvin Johnson, freakazoid human beings athletically the world has ever seen. Which serves Marcellus' point.
I'm about to say you. I
must say,
come on.
because Jerry Rice, who was not as skilled athletically, still gave you 1,200 yards into his 40s.
We ain't got to argue.
Calvin Johnson did not do, which Randy Moss could not do, and what T.O. obviously did not do. But with all that being said, we don't use the athleticism of those incredible receivers to undermine where they fall as far as greatness. If you want to make a comparison, I'm going to compare Giannis to a T.O. That's what I'm going to do, because Giannis has an elite amount of athleticism. But can we please decipher the difference between skill and technique? You on your laptop. Google what skill. You Google what skill means, sir. I will wait. We got time. Man.
We ain't got that much time, because I don't know my login, I don't think.
Then I will Google what skill means for you. All skill means, definition, noun, the ability to do something well. Giannis is one of the most skilled players in the NBA because he has an incredible ability to do something well. What can Giannis do well? Score points. What can Giannis do well? Get boards. What can Giannis do well? Win. So let's learn the difference between skill and technique.
I know it.
Because Giannis is Giannis is thus the most skilled player in the NBA.
Don't do that.
Because if skill is the ability to do something well, Giannis can score greater than Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant in the playoffs. Giannis can get boards better than Embiid, Steph Curry, the Joker, and Durant in the playoffs. So if skill is the ability to do something well, which it is, not by Marcellus' definition, not by my definition, by the world in which we live's definition, then Giannis is quite literally more skilled than all those players as well. So is Giannis the best player in the NBA? Yes. And please don't you dare question his skill, because Giannis does everything well.
Look, I'm not questioning the results, but I'm going to question the skill level. And I think
what does skill mean to you? Because I just told you what the actual definition of skill is.
Well, I'm talking about how many different weapons he possesses in terms of his results, okay? Giannis didn't hit the ground running. Don't compare him to T.O. Don't compare him to T.O. T.O. hit the ground running. T.O. hit the ground running so fast that Jerry Rice the Great was feeling a certain way about it. The organization of 49ers were feeling a certain way about it. This wasn't going well because they didn't expect T.O. to be T.O. like that. T.O. was a third rounder. Respect that. They're different beasts. Now, in terms of their athleticism, I can understand that, but that's different than skill. T.O., first guy I ever saw in the defensive coordinator room, Ted Cottrell and Wade Phillips. You know what they said? He runs every route, and he runs every route hard. That was the first receiver, and we played against everybody. But some guys, Randy Moss comes to mind. Let's be real about Randy Moss. He ran every route. He didn't want to run every route, and he didn't have to run every route, but T.O. did. He a whole different animal. But in terms of results, Giannis, fourth year, he finally gets over 20 points.
What's the problem?
Fifth year, there's no problem. All I'm telling you is his skill level is not rounded out. Now, you got a lot more energy from me than when we heard this last week, and we just said, and we all in agreement that, Giannis doesn't have the same skill level as a Kevin Durant. Can you just acknowledge that? Now, his results are insane right now. That's why I don't believe my lying eyes. Cooper Kupp, his results are insane. But I know there is a compromised skill level to Cooper Kupp. However, if these results keep speaking like they do and they continue over time, I got to give you your flowers. But don't act like you don't know there's some issue with the skill.
The only issue at hand would be with technique. I'm not going to say skill.
With technique,
and the reason is, but I can't. Because this is we're lazy in society, especially as analysts with our words.
Let's go.
If we want to say that Giannis does not have as great a technique as Kevin Durant from the free throw line, bet. That Kevin Durant is a more technically savvy shooter, bet. But we can't. Because here's what irked me, Sel. When we tried to say that Kevin Durant's a greater scorer than Giannis.
Yes.
Then how come Kevin Durant didn't score greater than Giannis?
What do you mean?
Last year in the playoffs, we said Kevin Durant's a greater scorer. All these dudes are greater scorers. Then how come Giannis is scoring?
Kevin Durant is third all time in postseason scoring.
He's played longer and he started better.
Average.
He played longer.
Average. Third all time. First among all active players. Hey, we can have this conversation in 5 years. Good luck, Giannis. Trying to average 29, you probably can. But doesn't mean still that you have the greater skill level than Kevin Durant. Because right now, by the results, by the receipts, Kevin Durant still got them, bro.
We're talking about two different things.
We can talk about three different things.
Because what it comes down to, if skill is an ability to do something and do something well, then Giannis is a more skilled scorer than Kevin Durant.
Why are we getting bogged down with skill? He's the best player in the NBA right now, and you're saying yes. And
easily. It's not close.
Dog, I don't know why you keep going, it's not close. And then you always correct yourself later because you calm down.
Who are you close with?
Who is he close with? Here's the thing. In perception and reality, his competition is, let's be real, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Embiid, Jokic, big or old. Like guys like him.
That's fair. You're fair. That's fair. That's fair.
And this is no slight. I don't know even how to say this properly without sounding like I'm slighting people. Giannis is playing with more energy, more athleticism than those guys, but he's not playing with greater skill. And that's the only thing giving me reservation. So I don't believe my lying eyes, but I look at the results and I say, you know what?
Here's what I hate.
He has to be the best player in the NBA right now.
Here's what I hate with this argument. What I hate with this argument, and it probably goes back to an insecurity in my youth. What I hate with this argument is this. What I could not stand, Sel, growing up, and let me know if you knew these people. The individual who was like, I'm smarter than you, I just don't try as hard. Like, nothing frustrated me more than the individual, I'm smarter than you, I just don't try as hard. To which I'd be like, then try as hard so we can see. Nah, but I'm smarter than you, though. That, to me, seems like what you're doing in regards to Giannis. Well, Giannis just tries harder than everybody else. That's why he's better. There is a skill that comes with hard work. There is a skill that comes with energy exertion. There is a skill that comes with focus. There's a skill that comes with motivation. There's a skill that comes with being locked in on a task.
I love it.
So for you to say that Giannis is only at an advantage because he tries hard is the same individual who in high school or in middle school or in elementary school had to deal with the individuals who were like, no, I'm better than you. I just don't try as hard. Well, try as hard and let's see. Oh, wait, you can't because energy and effort is also a skill because that too can be trained. So I need something more from you than, man, I just can't give it to Giannis because he's living off energy and effort. That's fine.
No, you don't need more from me because you already gave me what I needed. As soon as I bring up an argument for Kevin Durant, perspective, you know what you say? Well, Giannis hasn't been good as long. So once we start talking about harder or longer, we're having the same conversation just in a different lane. And that's why it makes this impossible. That's why so many people don't want to compare guys and compare eras because it's like, how do you conveniently make the proper comparison? But when I bring up Kevin Durant, third all time, the first thing you say, well, Giannis hasn't been here that long. So then we have to shorten it to when Giannis is at his greatest, but Kevin Durant is not right now in this moment.
But that's the conversation, isn't it?
Yes, and that's what I said. I said he's the best player right now with reservation because I don't believe my lying eyes. It made me feel like when the football season ended and every little kid on my team, I'm like, who's your favorite receiver? Cooper Kupp. I'm like, who's the best receiver? I'm trying to change it. Like, y'all gotta give me some more names. Cooper Kupp. And I'm like, okay. We having different conversation. But Cooper Kupp did have the best year for all receivers. Is he the best receiver in the game? See that face? You already know what I'm talking about.